everyone, and welcome to another episode of Longley's Line Podcast. I am your host, Stephen Longley. Remember to follow us on all of our social medias, like, follow, subscribe. Let's get those numbers up. We're still in the rookie numbers. Longley's Line Podcast, Stephen Longley for me, YouTube, Spotify, TikTok, anything you want to find us on. Today, I've got a couple of special guests with me today from the band Fervence. We have Stevie B and Josh Mathis.
Hiya.
Thank you guys for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Hello.
We're very happy to have you guys.
Hello.
I don't want to sound cliche, but I'm like really actually happy to be here.
Well, we're all happy to have you here. So before we get going into anything, promote your social medias, where you want people to find you, where they can follow, anything like that.
Absolutely. We are Fervence Band, and you can find us on basically everything. We're on Twitch. We'll live stream on Twitch. We're on Instagram, Facebook. You can find us on any music streaming platform. Just Fervence Band.
Fervence Band. And what about personal
Oh,
socials?
yeah.
All of us stream on Twitch too.
Yes.
Trent is Ricky Machete. He's the guy who writes all the music. I don't remember, mine's Faceless 3791, and then I forget yours.
Mine's Stevie BXO _ on everything. YouTube, everything.
And then we're on all the other social media shit.
Yeah.
A little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
yes.
kind of to the general question, how'd you guys get started? How'd the band come together?
So,
This one's brand new.
I am brand new
She's
in this
only been
band.
with us for 6 months, probably.
yeah, since like September.
We got the band started I think 2017 was me and Trent started playing together again. We were in a band before from like 2010 until I ended up leaving that band in 2016 and joining another band.
Okay.
I didn't leave that band because I was joining the other band. I was just really tired of nothing getting done. So I was just out of that. And then as soon as we got out of that, me and Trent basically started talking about like wanting to keep working with each other. Then we found the singer who's on the album, Austin. Got a ton of submissions. Trent was putting instrumental songs out on YouTube, and people were like getting really interested in them. And he ended up getting like 30 submissions or something like that. It was crazy. Wow. He only got like 5 or 6 people that actually recorded something and sent it back to him. And Austin was like by far best option for us at the time. So we went with Austin, recorded the first album. We released the album, and then 4 days later, everything shut down. I'm not going to say any of the words, so you don't have to like be all weird. But yeah, everything got shut down.
Yeah.
So the release, we were like planning to do a couple tours after that, and all of it got shut down. So, kind of just like I just kind of locked myself away and played drums and worked, and that's all I did.
Yeah.
And then once everything came back open, we didn't have a singer here. Our singer lives our old singer now lives in Minnesota now, or Wisconsin, something.
Michigan?
Michigan. He lives
somewhere in the Midwest.
somewhere in the Midwest.
What starts with an M?
And I've known Kendall or Stevie for a very long time. So I saw her play right when everything opened back up. And I was like, that is super sick. I didn't even know she could do that. And it was kind of just like this long, like, I saw her, I think it was one of her first shows she'd ever played.
It was the first show I ever played.
Yeah, so first show she'd ever played. And I was like, holy shit, that was like, for a first show, that was insanely good.
Yeah.
And then just like over the next year, it's like basically went to all of the shows she played. And she just progressively was getting better and better and better. And I was like, and I know she can sing. I was like, we should get her to come play with us. Like,
We gotta fill this puzzle piece.
yeah,
We got
so
the right one here.
we Austin had already kind of told us that he doesn't want to necessarily be a front man. He wanted to like play guitar and like help us write
background.
music and stuff like that. Since he's not close either, he can't really he's not going to fly out to play one show and then fly home. So
Sure.
yeah, he decided to step down from the lead vocal position, and like my only thought was this one, and I was yeah.
Already ready to go.
Oh my God.
We brought her in to practice. She was extremely nervous for like
Oh
the
my
first
God.
2 months.
It was stressful.
And
Performing on stage.
the funniest thing was like, every single time she'd be like, I don't know, just like, I don't know what's going on with my voice. We're like, dude, you're fine. Like,
I thought I sounded like crap.
You're your own worst critic.
I am,
Yeah,
and
always.
I have a very, very, very heavy perfectionist complex.
Yeah.
Very bad. It really like stressed me out. Like I was because I wanted it so bad. I probably wanted it too much. But then it's like I can't knock myself for that because like I'm gonna give everything I have then to this to
Yeah.
like make it happen, to make it the best I possibly can be. But in the same time, it was stressful,
stressful.
for a minute
Yeah.
until it just clicked. And I knew it was gonna click, but
Yeah.
it took a couple months for it to finally click and me be comfortable. Like, oh wow.
Was your story
can't
kind of
do
the
this.
same way when you guys kind of met before you even became a part of the band? Were you just kind of doing your own thing? Not
little
even
bit.
really realizing that, he had you in the back of his mind.
No,
like, we need
actually-
a front person.
It's hilarious because so that band he had seen me with, right at this point I had been looking for a heavy band for so long. I'd done music almost every other place and I've been looking for a heavy band forever. I mean, I was Craigslisting because I was like, someone's gonna give me a shot. I know I can do this. Right. And I was already in this country band with these other fools that were just doing country music as like we were getting paid $100 a gig minimum without tips, so it was
Yeah.
kind of like it was making us some money.
Yeah, we don't knock on country bands here.
Oh no, absolutely not. We were doing the good
we
old
got them all over the walls.
I
Yeah,
love
right.
country.
No,
I
for sure.
I got Hank Williams Sr. in my
Yes.
stack over there.
That's what
I'm
we
an
played.
Okie.
One of my best friends, my whole dad's side of the family was from Oklahoma. That's awesome.
Yeah, every time me and my grandpa get together, he's an old time Mexican guy, and I'll put on Jambalaya.
Yeah,
from
that's one of
Hank
my
Sr.,
favorite
and he's
songs.
just kind of walking
That
around
is so
and
that
doing
is-
his thing.
That is
like,
a bop, dude.
let me hear, Grandpa. We're just a couple of Okies, So
For
you're,
sure.
you're doing the country band, and then you're just kind of putting along with it until you find.
So the guys I was in the country band with, they had been in a punk band before that was pretty successful for our local scene. So,
Yeah.
But then their singer, they said, went on a fishing trip upstate. You know what I mean? And then so they were doing the country band as a side thing, and that's how I had found them. I actually found them on Craigslist. Was because I was like, well, I'm just going to do music, period, because I constantly would get a hankering, and honestly, to the point of almost being like depressed if I wasn't doing music of some
Yeah,
kind.
you're not performing.
Exactly, right? Because that's who I am to my core. So I found them and I started hanging out with these guys, and I was doing that country music for about a year, but I kept telling, I was like, guys, I'm about ready to even just move to California somewhere to see if I can find a heavy band because like that's all I want to do.
Yeah.
And it kind of lit a fire underneath them, and they were like, you know what? If she wants a band, let's give her a band then. And so they had played punk music before, so they were doing as best they could to give me metal riffs, and I just wrote to it as I could, and I was just so hankering to play that we didn't have a bass player, but we played live shows because
Yeah.
we didn't care. I had actually met him through the pandemic, and because like we everybody was getting friends on Facebook,
Yeah.
right? And I had met his guitar player. I'd never met either of them, yes, in real life yet, but his guitar player had been my friend, and he had been my friend online. And we'd write, and so his guitar player had sent me their stuff when they were like before they'd released it, and I was like, "Oh my god, wow, this is really good. If you need a singer, dude, will you please let me try?" Like,
Just let me come
so
on.
good. So every
Bring
time
me
I
in.
exactly, and every
Yeah.
time I had tried to start a band, I'd be like, "You guys listen to this band. These are incredible, right?" No, but nobody like the way Trent's mind works, like it's so complex, and the things he puts into it, and then also have Austin help write the songs, is like puts this like orchestral like wholeness to everything. It's just gorgeous, and
Yeah.
like no, I don't know. It's like on a tier up here that I don't think a whole lot of people can understand. You know, like
Right.
it's way up
If you
here.
know, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like I had already been kind of just like brown nosing these fools for a minute. I'm like, God, this stuff's hella good. So then when I met him, he was like, I'm the drummer for Fervence. I was like, no fucking way, I love that band so much. It's incredible, like geeking. And then we
Yeah.
just became good pals. Well, then he had moved back home and happened to be at that show. That was my first show ever. And then I was like, no way, I thought you moved to Oklahoma. Didn't you move to Oklahoma?
No, I moved to Nebraska.
Nebraska. And he was like, nah,
Go
fool, I'm
Corn
been there.
Huskers.
It was, it was a bad idea.
Cornhuskers all day.
He was in a foot. He was like, that wasn't a good idea for me, honestly. But luckily, he was back.
Yeah.
And then he had come to a couple of my shows. Now, come around February last year, right? February last year, Trent had moved back home because Trent had also moved to Minnesota.
Well, Trent was in
Right.
Minnesota for. He moved there. I helped him move out there. It was before I had moved to Nebraska.
To
So that was
Nebraska.
at least 4 or 5 years ago when he
Oh,
moved.
wow,
And then
yeah.
he moved back.
Yeah.
I think January 1st last year. or
Last
something
year,
like that. Yeah.
right? So then now, instead of him practicing drums on his own, Trent's back. So they're doing full sets, running in their room, and their room happened to be we practice at MRC. It's a musician rehearsal center over in Sparks, so that way like people can rent rooms and stuff. Well, my room was here, their room was here, so they were like, "Hey, we're practicing. You want to sit in?" I sat in, and I was just like, "Wow, this is so good! I fucking love this so much. It's incredible." And I had a couple shots, so after the music was done, I looked at them and I was like, "If you guys, I'm only gonna say this one more time, okay? I'm never gonna bring it up again. If you guys need a singer for your band, will you call me?" Joshua goes, "No, absolutely not.
No,
absolutely not.
won't do a
Never.
thing.
That's
No."
that's the relationship I have with
That's
her,
how
yeah.
his love language is being a brat.
And like, no, but you're the first person I'm calling.
So when the
And she
opportunity
like,
came up,
I didn't have another person in mind. I was like, we're going with Kendall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
hey, that's so sweet. Oh, see, I knew it. I knew you kind of liked me.
You better take it easy. That was not a high five.
That was
It's not
That was
a
me
high
telling
five,
you
but
to pump the brakes.
we got one anyway. That's all that matters.
No, see, that's me turning lemons into lemonade. Anyway, so when around October or August, I was kind of feeling like I'd outgrown the current band I was in anyways, and I happened to call him, and he was like, Trent and I were talking, and Austin doesn't really want to be a front person anymore, and we immediately thought of you, and I was just like, oh, fuck, man, Fervence, like, I'm going to have to start going to the gym or something, dude. This is some real shit. This is
I
the
gotta
real
be
deal.
a front person.
Yeah. Right? This is a legit band. And they'd already, done some hard work and gotten themselves some fans and some notoriety. And I was just like, I'm going to have to step right into this plate. And that's where I got stressed out.
Yeah, because it's a hard thing with a lot of bands when they get rid of their frontman.
Yes.
And they have to bring somebody else in. The frontman is the sound of the band.
Yeah.
And even though a lot of people know, like there's Slash who are a part of things, like a lot of people know what the band is, but then you get rid of the front person, you're like, oh, this sound like 3 Days Grace did that.
Yeah.
Like it changes. Filling those shoes, you have a right to be nervous
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah.
However, if you're bringing a different sound that keeps it the same, you can elevate it and make it better.
Yes, that was my hope. But in the beginning, I did not feel that way. I felt like I was crusty and I needed to fucking figure out a way to I was like, there's some top tier shit. I was playing thrash punk basically with these
I think
guys.
crusty's probably the best way to describe it. Feeling crusty.
And I was just like, I gotta step my shit up. And luckily, we had time because we had nothing booked. We had nothing new. They had a whole album written that needed lyrics, and I was like, shit, now we got a whole album here that I get to write to. And it was just like the stress of, but it was a good stress because it was a progression stress. It was I know I'm here
better.
and I want to be here and I know I'm capable, but I just like. It's gonna be rocky getting there. I'm so glad I'm past it now because holy shit, that was rough. That was rough. But
trying to get past that first hump.
Yeah.
To get through it.
Yeah. Oh my God, it was. But I'm always gonna remember it. I'm always gonna appreciate the struggle that I went through, and it was mostly mental.
There was a lot
For
of
sure.
times when I would just text you after practice and be like, listen,
You're doing
fine.
Yeah.
Just
God bless
fucking
you.
calm
you need
down.
that little bit.
It's
It
okay.
was nice of you to do that too. I really appreciated it. I did need it.
Like, me and Trent fuck up constantly, so it's like
Well, I know that now.
it's like it's I guess it's not as easy to hear as vocals would be, but yeah.
No.
Once kind of the glitz and glamour
Yeah.
fades away, you're like, oh wait, these are just normal people.
We're
I
all
don't
buffoons.
I don't have to sit here and think, oh, these are larger than life people. No, they're just normal people, and then I
Yes.
can actually bullshit with them and call them dickheads when I want to.
Exactly.
Like hang out and have a good time.
Exactly. And they're my fucking best friends. Like I love these guys, and I'm so grateful for the healthy dynamic I have with them. Like
Too far.
Okay, whoa, too far. Reel it in
Healthy
there.
might be too much. Yeah.
No, I am, and I like. He's just like, you keep being cheesy. I swear to God, I'm gonna kick you out the band. Like, I was like, I'm just so grateful. I've just been through some shit with
Everybody
some people.
loves
you
cheese,
know,
so you got to be a little
love
extra
cheese.
cheesy. No
Yes.
big deal.
I'm grateful as fuck for the shit that I've been through.
Yeah.
And then now that I get to have this, and it's like an elevated band that's like pushes me to be better, but as well like it's healthy. It's a bunch of people who know how to positively communicate with each other in a way of like feedback, and you don't have to worry about saying how you feel, like because it's all for the betterment of the band.
Yeah.
And we can all be able to do that to each other.
Not
and know
be
it's
afraid
like,
to sit there and say, hey, this is what I'm feeling. This is
Yeah.
what's going on.
I don't know if this
can
is
you
working.
help me? Yeah.
Exactly. Oh, yeah. Can you help me? Yeah, absolutely. And
Which is the hardest thing to say
It is.
when you're in a group dynamic.
It's very easy between me and Trent because we've been playing together since 2010, and
Yeah.
we've gone at it a few times where damn near fists were thrown. Yeah, and I mean it was never like we've never not liked each other or anything.
Yeah.
It's
We all have those
always
groups.
it's always because like, no, this fucking sucks. Why are we doing that? What are you talking about? You're an idiot. You don't know anything. Okay, well,
What
this
are you
still
not
sucks, and I
seeing
don't want to
here?
do it.
Let's go. Yeah. you have those too with like a lot of your friend groups. You know, if you have those older friend groups that you've been together with for so long, we've had it before where me and a buddy are getting into it, and it was like, no, dipshit, this is what's happening.
Yeah.
We're both just yelling, one's drunker than the other, and we're just getting into it. The following morning, it was
Never
like,
ends.
buddy, can you hand me a beer? And everyone around's like, didn't you guys almost get into a fist fight? Yeah, brothers fight. Like,
Yeah.
What do you mean? We're family. Like
Yeah.
we get into shit,
That's how it goes.
and that makes it a really good dynamic.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to your first shows, you're more comfortable now.
Yeah.
You're getting into it. What do you remember about those first shows where you actually feel
Yeah.
comfortable?
Right.
Like, feel a part of it.
It took Trent, while he was gone, he had knee surgery. So while he had knee surgery, luckily again, we had time. Trent sat with me because I got in-ears for this band. And that is something I've never dealt with before.
really, actually.
Yeah, right.
So
and
nice.
so, and you
Game
can,
changer.
it's nice for you. For me, I can hear myself in weird raw form and it was not good.
Oh, I gotta hear myself?
Yes. And the way that I sounded in the in-ears was disgusting.
Yeah.
So what is that? Apparently that's normal. Because and then when you play out into the speaker sounds much better.
Yeah.
So that was something I had to get over. I was like, what the fuck? What is that? It's disgusting. So Trent sat with me for basically a month and a half, playing the songs over and over again just with the in-ears so I could get it. And then I had to introduce him back in with it. And then luckily something clicked right just in time for us to play our first show. And our first show, the songs they're very complex. So I'm singing and I'm having to learn how to breathe on my own, but as well now I have to learn how to breathe and run around on the stage. So once that was a whole difficult
Yeah.
new learning curve thing,
A
and so
hurdle to get over.
that really was. Luckily, our first show we had a little bit of what do you call that? Audio problems.
Yeah, so for whatever reason, her vocals were insanely quiet, and we all run the in-ear system, so we're all
Yeah.
hearing. We all have our own mix,
have the
and
same
we
thing
can
going.
all like go on our phone and use our app and like change out how everything sounds.
Yeah.
So the kick, something happened where the kick and the vocal channel got linked together.
Yeah.
So the kick got completely pulled out of our in-ears and got plugged straight into the board so the kick could go out and the vocals could go out by themselves and not on the same channel. So the first show, no kick in the in-ears. And I basically I had a monitor behind me, which I never use monitors anyways because I'm
Yeah.
always in ears.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I guess just turn this on really fucking loud so I can hear the kick.
Yeah.
And I had no idea if I played well or not.
Yeah.
It was kind of just,
Yeah, hoping for the best.
Yeah.
Just, all right, here we go.
Yeah.
and the second show, kind of the same thing happened, except it was just my vocals that time. It wasn't yours.
Yeah.
My vocals were insanely quiet too, and
no,
nobody
mine were
could hear
too.
me.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
And were these just local shows
Yeah.
in town?
Yeah,
Yes.
we played our first show is out of Turris, and then our second show is in South Lake, Whiskey Dicks.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the thing is that we have this whole rig, right? So instead of like what I'm used to was playing with like a thrashy band, which is like guitar amp, bass amp, vocals go into the PA, and then they might mic up like the kick drum and the snare, right? And so then I hear myself vocally through whatever monitor they have, because you know those monitors that face the stage or face up at you at the stage. So now we have this whole rig, and this whole rig hasn't been tested live yet, right? So here's the things.
Yeah.
So what we did is we went and we did a dry run at Alturas. God bless Dennis, who works there, who let us come in on a night when he wasn't busy and run our set there to make sure everything worked right. And we thought
Yeah.
we had it down great. And then the first show came, and then of course we've got
Live's a different
fucking
animal.
almost 200 people there who've been waiting to see this band live, right?
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
Yeah, just what's
what?
happening.
yeah. And so I'm trying to keep my cool. I'm trying to tell jokes. People can't even hear my jokes, right? Because the mic's not even working.
Just knock, knock.
Yeah, right.
Come on, tell me who's there.
All
Let's
they
go.
hear is
They did get it fixed, thankfully.
yeah. Thank
I think
God.
it was like the first song was too. She like couldn't hear it all,
Yeah.
and they did all this stuff where they pulled everything out, plugged
They
it in.
pulled
and
me
it was
out.
Fine.
Yeah, so they pulled me out of my in-ears. I couldn't even hear myself in the in-ears anymore. So I was like, well, hope this sounds good.
Take back a little bit of what you
Pull 'em
needed.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So I just read. I mean, I was used to that anyways, not really hearing myself and only coming from the monitor. So I was ready to go with that. Now, maybe a bit better because of it, but we ended up getting these like our fix for all these problems was this little piece of cable. Like you just plug into the cable before it plugs into our big old rig, and that seemed to fix everything. It just boosted everything like 15 decibels.
Yeah.
The
And
smallest thing.
It really was.
It just looks like it looks like the end of one of these.
Yep.
It's pretty much just like an extension of this, and it just boosts the decibels of the microphone.
Yeah, that was
crazy.
it. That was our little fix.
Yep.
But it's
That
just
makes a
like
lot of sense.
this whole big ass rig that's just like complicated.
It's
That like
the smallest
yeah,
little piece.
Little piece.
That you're just like, does this go in the trash? Or what do I do with this?
Exactly.
Like, this doesn't make any sense.
So
Yeah.
that luckily fixed everything, and that was we're feeling a bit more lubricated now. You know, we got
In
about
rhythm.
yes, a little bit more in rhythm. Except for then, as soon as we did,
Lubricated.
he's
Jesus.
Got that
and then
KY? Let's
got
go.
to- yeah, I feel a little KY. So then, as soon as we did, he leaves for a fucking tour with another band for like a month. But luckily, during that time, now that we feel good, we've got a couple shows in our belt.
Yeah.
He's gone. Now, me, Cam, our bass player, and Trent have now spent like a month over at my house writing new songs.
Yeah.
So now, when this next show comes up, we're doing on May 6th at Alturas Bar. Then
There's bar.
on May
attention.
6th. We will be having at least 2 new songs now
Nice,
that
that's
are
great.
songs that I get to put my voice on instead of me singing.
It's going to be a very
Yeah, somebody
important
else's
show.
now.
It's going to be very important. It is going to be a very important show. I suggest everybody come. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be Josh is doing double duty, so you get to watch him do that. And
And what would you
sounds
say
sweaty.
the kind of genre of the band? Metal, right?
Metal, but
Eh.
it's like alternative. Kind of. Someone has described it as the other bands, kind of like Silent Planet or North Lane. Someone even said Deftones with a girl singer, which would make Trent happy because Deftones is his favorite.
That's
yeah,
crazy.
right.
That's a
Does
pretty
that-
good comparison, I guess.
That's a great
Kind of make
comparison.
you think of like other bands where there's a female lead. Like, do you kind of think of? Well, there have been so many of these big names, you know, that don't really have, especially in like kind of the metal genre,
Yeah.
where a female lead isn't common.
Yeah.
But it's like an example that I just had was we've all seen The Grinch Stole Christmas
Yes.
with Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cindy Lou got into a metal band.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Pretty Reckless or something like that.
yeah.
Is that it? Yeah.
I think it's Pretty Reckless.
Okay.
Yeah. And she's the front man of that. And you don't see that very often. Did you kind of think, I'm a female in a metal band? Or was it just kind of, it's metal. Let's do this.
I did.
Like
I
that?
have played the female in metal band card because I'm like, well, because the fact is that, and it's not just me saying it's that I've had other people tell me like, wow, you sound better than most dudes, and so I'm like, all right, run it then, you know, like
Just let's go. Come
like
on.
step up then. What's your excuse, huh?
Yeah.
But
Where you at
it's-
Avenged 7? I don't know.
yeah,
I don't know.
you're like I don't
Whoa,
know any
easy.
I don't,
metal bands.
I don't know any of
I
these.
like this, guys.
Yeah, he does like.
So do I.
Avenged Sevenfold.
Backcountry was my ringtone when I was a child.
Yes.
No,
But
dude,
it's like when it comes to metal, I'm kind of adverse about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I don't know much, but I like there's certain things where like Five Finger Death Punch or something. Like
Yeah.
there's bands that come up. Like I'll take a shaked head.
yes,
That's-
I call those like
That's
dad,
okay.
dad metals. I'm like because
or
those are
like
like
A Day to Remember or
Yeah.
something like that. Like
Oh.
I'll listen to a bunch of different shit, but as long as
jam
it's not entirely screaming
Mm-hmm.
and there's vocals and I can listen to it, I'll take some of that. It doesn't bother me at all.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you know.
The older I get, I'm the same way.
Yeah.
I like to hear a lot more actual like singing than screaming nowadays.
Yeah. You sing along, and like as soon as the actual vocals come in, I'm like, all right.
Mm. Yeah.
I'll start
Yeah.
singing. I'm like, this is cool. Then Scream comes. Excuse me, I'm down on the corner here.
I also
But
don't know.
that
Other
also
words?
does take skill too.
yeah.
Like,
I don't think I didn't necessarily want Kendall because she was a girl either. It was just because I saw how much she progressed in a year, and I was like, well, if she can do that, like she can definitely get better. Like
Yeah.
it was more of like there was a ton of potential that hadn't been
Yeah.
used yet, and I was like, yeah, that's what we need right there. And that was basically the main decider. We knew like she'd only been playing shows for a year. There's no like none of us are at our final product, and probably never will be. But
Yeah.
it's like she still has a ton of room to grow.
where the
So-
main idea of her being just a female lead of a band,
Yeah.
it's like race, gender, color, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
You
but
come in,
that
you
wasn't
give us
even,
that
like,
product.
Yeah, her being a girl or whatever wasn't even a factor
Yeah.
in the
It's that
decision.
energy
Yeah,
that we need.
Yeah.
exactly.
She's got plenty of energy.
yeah,
Yeah.
dude. This one,
What? My feet
impossible.
can't even hold still. Like,
Impossible to get her to stop.
Yeah.
Impossible.
No, I know. We've worked together at 3
Oh my
o'clock
God.
in the morning before.
yeah.
Like,
And everybody's like, why is this girl so loud right now? It's
It
3
is
o'clock
3
in the
o'clock
morning.
in the morning.
Yeah. And I'm like,
Stop.
what's up, everybody? Hey, how was your weekend? Here we go. Yeah, I mean, I'll play the card because, like, I also, in my research of kind of like marketing for music,
Yeah.
having like a gimmick, whatever it is.
No, I still got some.
Okay, good.
I didn't drink it all.
I was like, I mean,
wanna
I can have a little bit
more?
though.
I'm okay. I'm good. I'll finish this off and then I'll.
Having like a gimmick, whatever it is, you know, like, so, you know, like Slipknot wears masks or like,
Yeah.
you know, Korn's got the guy with the dreads, whatever it is that's your like thing, it's whatever your gimmick is, it makes you memorable, right? So like, I'm okay with the thing of this band is amazing. The singer's a girl, but also too, I don't want it just to be like, because I've seen a lot of girl bands that really are not good.
Yeah.
And I'm a kind of a really harsh critic when it comes to it. Like, girl power, like I'll see you and I'll be like, go girl, right? But there's only a couple bands that I've seen with a girl singer that I'd actually like listen to this music in my car, because that's my thing. Will I listen to it in my car?
Right.
Probably
Yeah.
not. It's probably not that good, right?
Am I going to jam out to it on my way to, something I'm doing?
Yeah.
Like, am I going to have a good time with
Exactly.
this? Yeah. So that's a fun thing where, like I said too, where race, gender, it really doesn't matter as long as you bring that energy to it.
Exactly.
And while you guys have been coming up with new songs, how does kind of that process go? Because from someone because I'm more of an actor, so, I see my own kind of progress when it comes to things and how I do a process of figuring out how to say certain things. How does songwriting and make it your own really come into play?
So Trent's the main songwriter of our
Yeah.
band. He'll get something together that he thinks is like somewhat of a finished product, and then he'll bring it to us and be like, this is either an idea I have for a new song, or this is basically finished. We just need to like fix the drums or whatever. That's usually how it goes. Like Trent pretty much writes the songs, not vocals obviously, but he'll write the structure, he'll write all the guitars, he'll write most of the bass, and then Cam will kind of like fill in wherever he needs to. But really, Trent writes all the music, and we just kind of throw
Your 2 cents.
our
in there.
flavor on
Yeah,
it,
yeah,
if you will. Yeah.
Give it
Yeah.
a little.
Trent's got a
seasoning
really
on there.
good ear for, what's the way to put it? Like what your ear wants to hear. Trent has a really good way of like making you hear what you want to hear, but it's also not like as cookie cutter as it sounds, if that makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
it's not like something that's going to be written by like on the next Shinedown record, but it's like catchy enough that it sounds like it's just kind of like
It's groovy.
you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, keeps
okay.
you
Yeah.
keeps you going.
Yeah.
Really groovy.
You want to be a part of it.
Yeah, and then I try not to overdo it with the drums. I'm when I fill in for bands, it's normally like death metal, tech death, stuff like that. So this is like a lot tamer than the stuff I normally play. So sometimes I have to just like relax, because this band is all about this one. It's all about her
Just, hey.
being in the front.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so okay
and
with that?
on top of everything, and she's the one that we're like, you have to go be awesome, and we're just going to be back here playing music. Like that's
We're just here
basically
hyping you up.
exactly.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
Wow.
yeah.
It's just,
So
this is all news to me. All right.
I know, yeah.
Trent does a good job of writing stuff that allows for that to happen. Like the whole first album was Austin, go do all this crazy singing shit, and we're just gonna like play some shit back here, and
Groovy
you
stuff,
just
yeah.
go do your thing.
Yeah.
And luckily, like he had the pipes to just
Yeah.
crush it.
Wail.
Yeah.
And
For
just
real.
get it going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got a vocal range which is very, very rare.
Yeah. And
Like,
so, like, for
especially for
a
a
girl
dude,
needs to
like-
probably basically do it, honestly.
Really?
Like
Yeah.
she was struggling with some of the high shit that he was doing. Yeah.
for
it's
a minute
insane.
there, yeah. I had to basically train my vocals like you would train a muscle. You know, like if
Yeah.
I'm getting up to a new PR every time we work. So, like, I had to
beer is this?
basically it's just the Battleborn,
Battleborn.
just the lager that I normally give you. So I had to, like, you know, every time you do it. Oh, yeah, duh. Fucking long drinks, man. Well, it's because I'm allergic, fool. Every time, you know, I go to the gym, I add 5 more pounds, and that's it. So I had to basically build the muscle up in
Yeah.
here to like hit some of those higher notes because
Which
I
is
was
things that people don't realize, that your voice can be a muscle. And a lot of people don't realize, especially because you incorporate not only hitting a high note, but screaming into it too.
yes,
And having to go from scream to high to low to mid to it's a real exercise.
it really is, and it was. I'm like I said. Now I'm grateful for the struggle because now I'm like 10 times better
Yeah.
than I was. Because oh my god! But I'm so grateful that they gave me the opportunity to do that and the time and the space. But it was building new muscles, and that's why too. Like if people go like I can never sing, I'm so bad at it. It's like, well, you just gotta like. I'm sure if you started fishing right now, you'd be shit at it too.
Yeah,
But
you
in
have to
2 years,
practice.
you'd be really good. Yeah,
Yeah.
you just keep practicing.
Yeah.
It's like whatever you decide you want to put your time and effort into.
Yeah.
And I've just known I've wanted to do this since like I was fucking 2 years old. So
Yeah.
I'm going to put every bit of effort I can into it. So it was that, and then like. I kind of put this flair on one of the songs we have too, where I end up hitting a super high note. Again, I just knew I could do it, but I had to keep training the muscle. But also, you got to tell your body when it's okay to stop and when you do not keep. Oh yeah, the one in Ghost.
Dude, the first time I ever heard you hit that, I was like, "What the fuck?"
Thanks, man.
I was like,
Because it never
Thanks,
happened
man.
before.
Yeah.
I basically hit the note that Austin had like programmed in as like a harmony, you know?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
Yeah,
to me, I felt like the song. I mean, the song is beautiful. The way Austin's wrote all these songs is beautiful. They're really, really good. It's well rounded. It sounds amazing on what Trent has wrote and what these guys have put in. And I just knew, but like that song when I was performing it live, I was like, this song builds the fuck up right here. And it sounds incredible. I'm like, there needs to be a giant climax. So I was like, I'm going to hit that note.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it.
Yeah. Gotta get it.
Yeah, right. So getting up
there.
there and doing, yeah, super up there. But I just kind of, I just use whatever I've known for so long to kind of like and put all that skill together, and that only came with just practicing. That's all you gotta do. You just gotta, if you want something enough, you just gotta keep practicing at it.
That's really all it is.
1,000%.
Most people don't realize that too when
Yeah.
it comes to singing.
Nobody
in
sees
general. Like I've seen it so many times where somebody will sit there and start singing and then they don't work it as
Yeah.
much as they need to. And they're just like, I'm not very good at it. Like what you were just saying. It was
Yeah.
like, I say that about myself all the time, and then I'm singing in the car to some stupid thing.
When
and
no
my-
one's watching.
And my wife just goes,
Some My Chemical
why don't
Romance.
you, why don't you keep singing like that? Like, because I can't.
No, see, it's like 95% mental.
Yeah, and then a country song comes on. I'm like, and she's like, why don't you keep
Yeah.
doing that? I'm like, because I can't.
Uh-huh.
Like,
Does it- yeah.
you can't pay me to do that.
That's also your comfortability level, right? You'll do it at home. That's why everyone's a shower singer.
Yeah.
Because nobody's watching, girl.
Yeah, as soon as the shower comes on and I can hear my kids singing as loud as she can, I'm like, what is she singing?
Is it My Chemical Romance?
Is that
No, I'm kidding.
Pink? Like she's 14 and she's singing
14.
Pink. Yeah.
I love that. 14 is about when I discovered death metal. So my poor parents, you know what? They never gave me a hard time about it. You know?
Same with my folks.
Yeah.
My folks
Mine
never
did.
gave
Yours
me.
did?
Oh, brother.
I was more.
Turn that shit off.
What is that? Sounds like devil music.
Mine was kind of the opposite direction with hip hop.
With hip hop.
And when I was younger, it was, all just these raunchy hip hop bands. And my folks are just like, why are you listening to that? I was like, I don't know. And then I'd play Steve Miller Band right after.
Right. And they're like grooving.
I was just like, oh, I'm having a good time. Is that Earth, Wind, and Fire? And then all of a sudden, Tech Nine comes on again. I'm like, sorry, guys, this is how it has to be.
Or damn X gonna give it to you. My brain's like, what?
You can't stop, drop, set up shop by yourself. What are you doing?
You got to have your dogs with you.
You gotta have your dog with you. That's all it is.
That is so funny. That is so funny.
So for kind
That's
of
funny.
inspiration for when you guys are coming up,
Mm-hmm.
did you have any inspiration kind of as kids or anything?
Oh,
Like,
God,
we were
yeah.
talking about Pretty Reckless or,
Oh, easy.
drummer,
Garth Brooks.
like when you were talking
What
about.
is it?
Garth Brooks.
Garth Brooks.
No question. He's still to this day my favorite musician of all time.
Where are the bodies, Garth? Come on
Yeah.
now.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Garth Brooks. The band that got me into metal was I went and saw Judas Priest
Okay.
when I was
Yeah.
like 11, and I was like, "The fuck is this?" And so I bought like a greatest hits album of Judas Priest and just listened to that for like 5 months straight.
Yeah.
And then I listened to Motley Crue, and then somehow got into Green Day, which I still hate to this day.
That you got into them or
Yeah.
them in general?
Eventually, I got to Avenged Sevenfold's Wake in the Fallen, and that's what got me into this genre of music.
Yeah.
And then As I Lay Dying came, All That Remains, Killswitch, Lamb
Yeah.
of God, The Black Dahlia Murder, which I met 2 of them on this last tour. It was so sick.
Yeah.
I almost cried. It was cool. Yeah. But so Avenged Sevenfold was my gateway band, I guess.
That
from,
was
like,
it.
Yeah.
So when I made
Into
that
the-
comment
yeah.
earlier, it was
Yes.
like, that's why.
He was like,
I was
"Oh,
like, whoa, bro,
Avenged
take it easy.
Well, because the main point is I get belittled for that at home all the time because
Yeah.
I had backcountry on my flip phone
Yes.
when I was in high school. And I
Yes.
was like,
Nothing wrong with that.
all right, this is awesome. And then I tell my wife that, and she goes, why are you listening to Avenged Sevenfold when she's got screaming bands? I'm like, come on.
You're
Just
all, watch your tone, lady.
Watch your tone, woman.
You don't appreciate it enough. Come on now. And then
That's
what was kind of yours? Did you have any like
Oh my God.
Did you have the aspirations, like a Stevie Nicks or something, like a good female lead that kind of
Wow.
brought you into it?
No, and I don't know because like I do a lot of stuff that men normally are like predominantly doing, right?
Yeah.
So like
Yeah,
a lot of like
sure.
the work things I would do and the music that I listen to and the music that I want to be a part of. So no, it was not real. Like I actually grew up on Garth Brooks too. Yep, and Shania Twain.
God, those leather pants, dude.
Yeah,
Those
right?
leather pants.
Come on.
Yes, my parents listened
Where have
to
your boots been under? Let's hear it.
exactly
Come on,
right.
that's the jam.
My mom loved country music. My dad liked heavy like hair bands, you know, 80s hair
That's
bands.
how my dad was.
Yes.
Don't move.
Oh no.
I don't want that.
Oh God, you get
You
it.
gotta
Oh,
fray.
thank you so much. You saved my life. Thank you.
My dad
So-
was the exact same way. My dad's into hair bands.
Yeah.
He got me into AC/DC, all of that
Yeah.
kind of shit.
Yeah.
And my mom, the tiny little Mexican lady, was into funk.
Funk.
So I had the Gap Band, Earth, Wind, and Fire,
Yep.
the
Yeah, dude.
Commodores.
Yeah.
All of those was what I grew up in. So I never had a specific genre that I've always listened to.
Mm-hmm.
So then growing up, it's been rock, funk, hip hop,
Yeah.
country, alternative. It's just always
Kind of bounced
moved
around.
everywhere. So same thing.
Same thing, right?
It's
That's
always
sick.
grown
Yeah.
up that way.
It's my parents' fault that I like metal so much because my parents used to be like Christian rock Christian metal promoters, right?
Yeah.
So like they would bring bands to town. Ever since my first concert I went to was in 4th grade. It was like it's now Captain Games, but it was like Sparks like fellowship or something. And I remember going to a couple shows there, and they brought metal bands in, like called the one was called Zero Theory, one was called Ever Stays Red, one was called Dismas. Like they would just bring these bands in, and then they'd end up staying at our house because we had a big ass house on a hill over in Northwest Reno.
Yeah.
And so then they would just come and stay on our living room floor. And I remember memories of like waking up, and my parents made banana pancakes for all these band members and stuff. And that was my first experience, right? Of looking at these guys and being like, wow, I would love this life.
Yeah.
This looks like so much fun. Even like but to me,
You're
like
just chilling with
exactly,
friends.
right?
Yeah.
And like they all thought we were fun and like we're so nice to us. And
Mm-hmm.
that was my first experience with like people in bands and like heavier music. And then there was also a fest in Quincy, California called Joshua Fest
Okay.
that my parents would help put on too. And that's when I got
That
to
was
see
like
some.
that was like a Christian metal festival
Yep.
too, right? Is that
Yeah.
still going?
I have no idea.
I'm pretty sure it's still a thing.
That would be cool. Honestly, it was a lot of fun.
Dude.
It was a lot of fun. And I went to those.
Quincy's a hidden gem.
It
too.
is.
It has
Quincy's
a
sick.
Yeah.
community college football team that a lot
Really?
of the guys in my high school,
Yeah.
a lot of them went to play in Quincy.
Wow.
I played
Yeah,
baseball
same
against
thing.
Quincy.
I was
Really?
about
College,
this
yeah.
close to getting, but I like got hurt my senior year, so I couldn't. And I was like, every single person I knew went to Quincy, or the exact opposite, and went to California in one of the little community
Yeah.
colleges
Yeah.
over there.
Interesting.
Yeah, so Quincy's a hidden gem.
It really
so
is.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Isn't Feather River the one that's in Quincy? Or is that just Quincy? Yeah, it's Feather River, right?
Feather River, yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out Feather River.
Shout out.
Shout
I
out.
heard you.
So for
Nothing wrong
Quincy's
with
like
community college.
it was
Nah.
like their fairgrounds or something that they have there, and so that's where they would throw it. And there was
Yeah.
bands like called, I don't know if everybody wants to look up. There's a band called Family Force 5. They were incredible. They bring Skillet. Skillet's big now. My parents had booked Red. I don't know if you've ever heard of them, but like I've heard their songs at strip clubs. Like they're huge now. My parents had booked Red at a fucking cabana in the middle of Fallon, Nevada,
Jesus.
in like the daytime. You know, one of those. And then like they just like help put on these big. And we booked Skillet one time, and like in Chilkoot, California, at some like barn or something like
tight.
stuff like that. You know, we were like the little guy promoters in town. My parents were, and so I'd gone to all these shows and I watched people mosh pit and like
Yeah.
that. But it was like Christian heavy metal.
And that's what brings you into it.
That's where
and you
I
don't
started,
realize,
yeah.
like, who is it? The Killers. They're actually a Christian band.
I had no idea.
Mr. Brightside.
Yeah.
they're a Christian band. And
Really?
you never would have guessed it, because it's not like they sit there and shove it down your throats or
No.
anything. They're just
Yeah.
kind
They
of
don't
like,
preach it yet
hey,
and
we like
stuff.
Jesus.
Yeah.
What of it?
Right.
You know, like,
We'll
who
set a
cares?
good example. And
Yeah.
so then I found LimeWire when I was like in 6th or
Dude.
7th grade, and that's where I found heavy metal.
Just ruining parents' computers across the
Oh,
country.
across the country, yeah. And that's where I found heavy
My
metal
computer,
music. Mm-hmm.
my buddy's computer, I was the DJ in the group.
Yeah.
So every time we would do anything, it was like, Scuba, go find some music on LimeWire. You got it. And I'm
Dude.
sitting.
Oh my god, dude! And
I had like
found some-
14
all
Iron
over
Maiden albums on my parents' computer. I'm just like, I don't know any of this. Let's try this one.
Yeah.
Just fucking
Let's
try
do
to listen
this
to a
one,
couple
This
of them.
one, this
Yeah.
one. Why is it taking 6 hours to download?
Literally, I remember downloading something that was supposed to be music, and it turned out to be not. It was like images. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
exactly. And I'm like, I'm gonna get in trouble.
Just fucking hogs.
Yeah, dude, it was crazy.
Hell yeah.
And so that's where I
my kind of
found
party.
like Bring Me the Horizon, and like that's actually how I found OTEP, which is a female-fronted metal band, and that was the first time I actually heard a female sing.
Yeah.
And it's a little wild because we're actually opening for them on June 17th at the Ranch House.
Is that right?
Yeah, dude.
That's
Super
cool.
crazy, actually.
Oh,
yeah. That was
Is this
the first time.
big name that you've
Have we got a
opened
flyer
up
for that yet?
No flyer for that yet. No.
Good grief. It's in 2 months.
It's in 2 months, yeah. So I mean, we'll hit up the guy. But so at you've been to the Ranch House, yeah. So the guy who used to do a Virginia Street Brew House somehow ended up now booking his stuff at the Ranch House.
Okay.
So like I think we were my last band. It was called Justice. That thrashy one I was in. We were supposed to open for Ginger, which is like a huge female fronted like heavy metal band,
Yeah,
right?
I've heard the name.
Ukraine.
Yeah. And then the whole Ukraine thing happened literally like it was on like February 22nd and like then like right as that happened. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that was the one we were supposed to. I don't know if I've opened for any other bigger bands. I think this might be my first big band that I've opened for. I mean like Justice did open for like Municipal Waste and stuff like that, but those are like heavy in the thrash scene.
Yeah.
You know, not ones that I really know. But this will be my first time opening
Yeah.
for like a big band, yeah.
Yeah.
And so that one, that's gonna kind of be full circle, you know, kind of like a
Yeah.
full circle thing. Like that was the first time I heard a female, and I'm like, wow, girls can do it too.
Right.
That's crazy.
You never listen to Flyleaf?
No, yeah, we grew up
Okay.
listening to
I was gonna
Flyleaf,
say,
yeah.
yeah.
Flyleaf,
dude.
Yeah.
Evanescence,
She could get
but
it.
Yeah.
She didn't scream.
No, she
really,
didn't
but-
know. But I think my parents brought Flyleaf one time
Really?
to Sparks. Yeah, somewhere.
They're so sick.
I think that big old SCF, though it's on like Green Beret. My parents brought them there.
Really?
I think, yeah.
Huh.
That was like 2004 or
That's sick.
6 or some shit like
I
that.
was like 14.
Yeah, right.
4, 6, 14. It's all
right.
kind of the same.
Some shit like that, yeah. So because we had seen them before, we had brought them, and like there was a lot. My parents every time, because I would start getting excited about the band stuff, right, and being in a band and being a singer in a band, and I've been singing. My parents have been showing me singing since I was like 2 years old on family videos, you know. So then when I started getting into heavy stuff, they would be excited to show me girls that were in front of bands. So that's why I
Yeah.
remember Flyleaf, because they. Do you like my nails?
Matt Blue?
Yeah. Sick,
Ooh,
huh?
I like it. No,
Thanks,
that's
man.
That
Sorry.
belongs on a car somewhere.
I know, right?
Diversion.
But, like I'm the ADHD one. That's my job.
I know. I like
why it's
to
your-
fuck with you a little bit, and then you lose track, and then you're like, "Where the fuck was I?"
What
And now
were
I
we
have to
talking
find
about?
something else.
No, I
What was
remember.
it?
Yes.
Iguanas? What were we doing?
Yes, so that's why I remember Flyleaf exactly, because my parents were like really excited to show me this.
Yeah.
I've been so grateful. My parents have nurtured whatever I want to do, even if it was heavier music.
Mm-hmm.
They were like, "We got you a piano, we got you a guitar, we got you like." Once I showed interest in something for X amount of time,
Yeah.
they pushed me forward in it, which was so nice.
Yeah, my folks
It really
have been
was.
the same way.
But
And her mom's
honestly-
a 10.
Why do everybody always say that? Why do everybody always say that? They used to say that about my dad too when I was a kid. They'd be like, "I'd be like, what is wrong with you?" Ick.
I mean,
fool."
I don't think I've ever met your dad. So
No, yeah,
Just
well,
straight
when I meet him,
Tommy.
he'll be a 10 too.
Yeah.
Straight Tommy boy. Dude, she's like a 10.
gross.
Gross, that's my mom. I get it, but come on.
Oh my god. Well,
Trying
my
to-
mom's a
trying to be the
badass.
stepdad.
There is a
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
foul. But
You can
anyways,
still call me by my name. It's fine. You
I don't have to call
me
you
Dad.
stepdad.
No, you
You
do.
don't have to call me dad. You can stick with Josh. It's fine.
Oh my god. Anyways, Lana Del Rey is my most favorite singer.
Thank you.
Yes.
Go back to the point.
Long story short, my most favorite singer of all time, of any time, and it has been for the last like 12 years since I found her.
Lana Del Rey.
Yeah, Lana Del Rey is my most favorite. So, and you might be able to notice sometimes, like when people see me sing or watch me record, I'll do kind of some stuff that she does. Like I like roll my stuff kind of down like she
Yeah.
will, and I don't know, just because she's my favorite, I listen to fucking hours of Lana Del Rey.
Nothing wrong with
Anyways,
that, I don't
Whack. You know, my favorite joke is there was an episode of Family Guy where they found Shazam, right? And so they were like, "Oh yeah, it's Shazam." And so Peter's like, "Huh, let me try something." He takes his phone, he farts in it, and he goes, Lana Del Rey."
Just like that hurts. I get it.
It's
Stop.
fucking
It still hurts.
hilarious. Yeah, one of my most faves.
That's funny.
Thanks.
All right. Well, we're coming down to the end of all of this. Before we really get you guys out of here, what else would you like to promote? Because I know you were talking about that show that you've got coming up
Yes.
in July, and you've got the one on May 6th. Is there any kind of the general question that I like to ask is more of what's next? What do you guys have coming? Do you have anything
Ooh.
big on the future? I know you've got a bunch of songs kind of lined
Yes.
up, or what's
Yeah.
kind of next for the group?
Yes.
So we're gonna play this show on May 6th. That's a run that I'm doing with my other band. So I'm gonna be gone again for like 3 weeks. But when I get back, oh man, my lungs are not recovering at all. Dude, I was sick for this
Coming back
whole
from
tour, and my lungs are just shot. So once I get back from that, I'm gonna go record new material with
For us?
with a new producer.
Yeah.
I just found a drum sound that I really like. That's just gigantic. So I'm gonna go to this new guy, record some new stuff, and then hopefully probably release that sometime like either late this year or early next year. That's the goal for me, anyways.
Yeah.
Before we keep going, too, have you seen that video where it's this kind of band sitting on a stage and it says the drummer is playing the wrong kind of music? And it shows him and they're playing, you know,
he's like
really soft song and he just,
you're doing all that.
and then they look at him and goes, sorry.
Yeah. My bad, guys. Yeah.
Is that kind of the same idea? Where you're,
Maybe when you switch to country,
No.
when you go back to country and we start playing,
because he's played in country bands.
if we hit "Move It On Over," you're gonna be.
I have played some Shania Twain songs, and yeah, they get fun.
They have a good time.
Yep.
You get all those 60-year-olds up and dancing. You're just like,
Ooh.
oh hell yeah, let's do this thing. Just kidding.
You
No.
just hear
They do. They moving and grooving, dude.
You
they
hear
like it.
"Let's Go, Girls." It's over.
It is over.
No matter what
Even I
age
do.
they are. Let's go, girls.
Let's fucking go.
Now, absolutely.
And then it's done. It is over.
Yeah.
Well,
You got
so
some new stuff coming up.
yes, so he's gonna go record the drums for those tracks. We have 3 new songs that are coming out, and so we have the show on May 6th with Cyborg Octopus, and then at Alturas Bar. And then we also have a show on May 28th at Alturas Bar with our friends in Salt Wound, help them come through town.
Miss you, Marty.
And then on June 17th, we'll be playing with OTEP at the Ranch House. And that's what we have so far. But in that meantime, we will be releasing 3 songs with videos and with, you know, and new songs with this band with me on it. So that is very exciting. That's very exciting for us.
That's what we're excited about.
That's the way to
To
go.
finally get her vocals on our record.
Yes, to finally
Oh,
get
yeah.
it on the record, and then like for me to
Get some
make
singles
something
going. Yeah.
and make something that I'm actually like really proud of to show everybody.
Yeah.
You know, that feeling of like, this is my baby. What do you think of it? Don't tell me it's ugly, please.
When
Take a look.
she records vocals, I'm just going to be like, terrible.
Terrible. Do better next time.
Please be
Just
polite. I know my
terrible.
baby's
Try
ugly.
again.
Just tell me it's cute.
Please be polite.
Please don't ruin this for me.
Yes, and it's just like the level of this band and the caliber and that Trent. This band is Trent's baby, right? And Trent is putting a lot of capital into it and making
Yeah.
sure that we have the best we can in recording and the best we can in like video production.
Right.
So like he's whatever he's working
Putting
with
heart
somebody
and
he
soul
knows.
into
Yeah,
it,
he
yeah.
really is. And so like I want to live up to that, as well as I'm just fucking grateful for it. I'm
Yeah.
grateful because it's going to create a whole product like that. Best as it possibly can be, that we can be proud to show everybody.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm just super stoked about it, man. Anyways, thank you.
Thank you guys
so much.
Well, thank you guys. Go ahead. Did you have something else?
Nope, just throwing the
Thank
horn.
you guys for coming. Thank you guys for coming and
Of course.
telling your story of how
Yes.
everything came in. Before we do kind of call it quits, what's the social medias where everybody can find you guys?
Oh, yes. We are Fervence Band. You can find us anywhere: Twitch, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. Listen to us. Your mom will like it. It's not all
TikTok.
screamy shit. Oh, yeah, we're on TikTok. It's not all screamy shit. Your mom will like it. As well as I am Stevie BXO. You can find me on all the same: Twitch, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. What about you, sir?
I'm Josh.
I'm Josh, and I'm just here
That's
to
all you
party.
need.
Follow me wherever the hell you want.
I am John. That's all you need.
Steve, thank you. This is lovely. This has been lovely.
Thank you guys again for coming. And you heard it here first. Remember to follow them on all of their social medias.
Yeah, brother.
And
Yeah, brother.
remember to follow us over here at Longley's Line Podcast, the studio here at Light Styles Studio. And we'll see you guys next week.
Yeah, follow Steve.
See you later.
Thanks, man.
Thank
It's so
you guys
sick.
for coming.
Heck yeah.
Much appreciated.
Seriously.